Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're demystifying something most of us completely ignore. Well, right up until the exact moment we desperately need it. Picture this. You're just driving along, going about your normal day, and suddenly your vehicle's engine just completely dies right in the middle of the incredibly busy FM 3009 intersection. Your heart totally drops. What actually happens next? Well, today we're diving into the mechanics and the gritty logistics of towing. The tension in a situation like this is immediate. And man, it is very real. Your engine coughs once, just once, then twice, and then nothing. You are suddenly stalled out in the blistering Texas heat. The light turns green, the horns start blaring behind you, and I-35 highway traffic is just flying past you at terrifying speeds. This isn't just some minor inconvenience, it's a massive, active safety hazard. It's literally a ticking clock where every single second counts. And that brings us to a really powerful quote from our source material today, which is serving as our case study, Schertz Towing LFL, a local service provider down in Texas. Their service overview really pulls back the curtain on this whole industry. It reveals the unseen dangers and the intense mechanics of roadside emergencies. Because, as they put it perfectly, every minute you sit on the side of the road is a minute you're exposed to risk. It's about so much more than just moving a piece of broken down metal.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The anatomy of a breakdown. 2. Fixing the usual suspects. 3. The engineering of towing. 4. Roadside safety and protocols, and we'll wrap it all up with 5. Prevention and preparation.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the anatomy of a breakdown. High stakes on the highway. So in an area like Schertz, high-speed traffic and really narrow shoulders turn a simple mechanical failure into a major hazard. And that brings up a super fascinating angle, the psychology of a breakdown. Think about it. When you're stranded, you're feeling frustration, stress, and genuine fear. Professional operators know this isn't just about moving cars. They basically have to act as impromptu customer service experts to manage that panic, handle the logistics, and figure out your next steps, like finding a nearby hotel or a mechanic you can actually trust. It's a highly psychological job. Moving right along to Section 2, fixing the usual suspects, when it's not just a tow. Because actually, as it turns out, not every emergency even needs a tow truck. Let's look at the science behind the two most common culprits out there, dead batteries and flat tires. So why do batteries always seem to fail in the H-E-B parking lot? It's because those brutal Texas summers literally accelerate the chemical reactions inside lead-acid batteries, which causes internal corrosion and evaporated fluid. And flat tires? Well, the constant construction around Schertz and Cibolo just litters the roads with nails and debris, leading to those terrifying blowouts at 70 miles per hour on I-35. Professional roadside assistance tackles these exact issues right there on the shoulder using specialized gear like high-amperage jump packs to wake up stubborn diesel engines or heavy-duty impact wrenches for a rapid response tire change. Section 3. The engineering of towing. Method meets machine. Now, what's absolutely crucial to understand here is that when a quick fix isn't possible, you need a tow. But you can't just use your buddy's pickup truck and a rusty chain. That amateur approach? Yeah, that can cause thousands of dollars in damage to your transmission, your bumper, or your suspension. That's exactly why the flatbed tow truck is the absolute gold standard in this industry. It gets all 4 wheels completely off the ground, eliminating any risk of drivetrain damage. This is literally mandatory for all-wheel drive vehicles and electric cars, which simply cannot be towed with 2 wheels dragging on the asphalt. Now, there is a massive logistical divide in this industry that you need to know about. National dispatch centers versus local towing services. If you call a 1-800 National Center, you're usually talking to someone in a totally different time zone. They are literally just following a blue line on a GPS screen. They have no idea about local bottlenecks. Contrast that with local operators, like Schertz Towing LFL. They know the back roads, they know exactly how to bypass that horrible traffic jam on FM 1103. And, maybe most importantly, they understand hyperlocal landmarks, like when you say you're stuck near the big oak tree by the old farm. And all that local knowledge, it translates directly to this number, 20 to 45 minutes. That is the average local response time cited in our source. In an emergency on a high-speed highway, time is pretty much the only currency that matters. Shaving minutes off of response time just by knowing a local shortcut isn't just convenient for you, it fundamentally reduces your exposure to danger. But of course, we aren't just talking about regular sedans here. Schertz is a major logistics hub. Moving a fully loaded commercial box truck or heavy machinery takes highly specialized vehicles. We're talking absolutely immense torque and serious winch capacity. It is an entirely different level of engineering. Which brings us to Section 4, roadside safety and protocols, managing the scene. We always have to remember that the highway shoulder is one of America's most dangerous workplaces. Rubbernecking, distracted driving, it's a bad combo. To manage this, professionals use a very strict protocol. Step 1, they keep the driver inside their vehicle with their seatbelt securely fastened until help arrives. Step 2, upon arrival, the operator immediately establishes a critical safety buffer zone. Step 3, they deploy high-visibility directional lighting to actively steer that highway traffic away from the hazard. And Step 4, they hook up the vehicle with lightning speed to minimize road exposure. So they don't just move cars, they actively manage highly hazardous scenes to protect everyone involved. And finally, Section 5, prevention and preparation. Basically, avoiding the tow. Because let's be honest, the absolute best tow is the one you never actually have to call for. And that all comes down to preventative maintenance. First, check your tire pressure regularly. Those massive temperature swings in South Texas cause huge fluctuations in pressure, which leads right to blowouts. Second, test your battery if it's over 3 years old. Seriously, do not wait for it to just die on you. And third, listen to your car. If you hear a weird new noise, pay attention. As the source so wisely notes, a squeak today is a snap tomorrow. I love that phrase. But sometimes an emergency is just unavoidable. If you do have to make that stressful call, here is the exact rapid-fire information you absolutely must provide to a dispatcher so they send the right equipment. Give them your exact location or cross streets. State the specific make and model of your vehicle. Describe the nature of the mechanical problem as best as you can. And finally, tell them your intended final destination. And hey, you need a service that operates 24/7, 365. Why? Because cars do not care about regular business hours. They die at 3 a.m. on a random Tuesday or right in the middle of a brutal Texas ice storm. Legitimate roadside assistance has to be constantly available, completely regardless of the weather or the time of day. So I'll leave you with this final thoughts. The next time you hear a mysterious squeak coming from your engine or you realize your car battery has quietly aged past that 3-year mark, will you take proactive action? Or will you roll the dice and risk becoming a stranded, highly stressed roadside statistic on the edge of the I-35? The mechanics of a rescue are totally fascinating, but keeping yourself out of danger in the first place, well, that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.